Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer, and we're returning, of course, to Command. So, last time we took a pretty bad beating when we, as the US, were flying into Iran and taking out some of their anti-air installations. Now, technically, we did fulfill our mission. We did clear out, I think, about 3 or so air installations down here, but ultimately that was an unacceptable cost. And the unacceptable cost was mainly due to the anti-air installations around the Russian airbase in Iran up here, specifically these guys over here, the SA-21 or the S-400 Triumph. So these guys here did take out a lot of our planes, and that wasn't really great for us. So specifically, these guys have an enormous range of more than 200 miles. So yeah, these guys have been playing hard at us, and they were shooting down quite a number of our aircraft. You can still see some of the chaff in the air here where we're trying to evade. But yeah, ultimately that was kind of unsuccessful. You know what? We know that these guys here are hostile, so let me just fix that. So, we need to be more clever about how we can attack them and what we can do. I don't want a repeat of that last mission. That was just horrific. Now, one of the things that you guys have been consistently telling me is that I underestimate the F-35. So the F-35, of course, the Joint Strike Fighter, one of the most modern, admittedly, aircrafts in the US arsenal. These guys over here, the Lightning variant, so the B variant, the Lightning, does have a vertical takeoff capability, although it's not being used in this scenario. Let's try to see whether we can make better use of them. So far, I've been using them mostly as sort of assassins that were flying around the enemy to their rear to find basically their high-value targets, specifically their airborne early warning systems and flying radars and stuff. So maybe we can do something else with them, and specifically maybe we can try to break this bunch of anti-air installations over here. You can see most of these guys here are surface-to-air batteries, so it would be sort of utterly hard to break this formation and get into these guys over here, the S-21. So I don't think that's quite viable with normal aircraft, so with a normal strike package. But I do think maybe our F-35s might have a shot of coming in here. So as you remember, even down here, even the normal installations, even something like this, even just a formation of about, let's say, one central anti-air battery surrounded by a couple of smaller ones. So these numbers here always denote the number of vehicles. So this here is a strong one, and it's surrounded by sort of weaker units that just cover for this at a shorter range. So just breaking that required like 20 missiles or something. So breaking this here would be nigh on impossible with a normal strike package, I think. So let's try to do that via the F-35. Luckily we have prepared a short while ago on the F-35. Where are they? Over here. We've asked 2 of these guys here to rearm with guided bombs. So I'm not entirely sure whether the pave waves here are going to be enough to tackle our air attack. But we are going to try, and I think that is going to be a very nice check over here. So let's get these guys here to launch individually. So these guys will then come on over here, fly in, drop their bombs and get out as fast as we can. Now they're going to be extremely close to all of this, so I'm not entirely sure that they're going to be able to strike that. How many targets have we got over here? So the SA-25, SA-21, isn't it? Yeah, SA-21 is always in these groups of 13 vehicles. It's relatively easy to spot them. These groups of 2 or 3 vehicles are just mostly things that have a much shorter range of about, let's say, 25 miles or so. And they are covering for the other guys, and there are a couple of other ones mixed in here as well. The SA-10, that's a Grumbler, also decent range, but of 30 miles or so. But again, they are not the most important target. The most important target really is these guys here with 13 vehicles. That's one over here, another battery over here, and one over here. So 4 batteries in total. And if we look closely at how these guys are built up, we might notice that they have typically, these are the 13 vehicles that they've got. They've got typically 3 SA-16s, so short range cover again, just as a dynamic part of the battery itself. Then they've got 8 launchers, which each carry 4 missiles and a couple of missiles in reserve, so it's pretty hard to dry them out of ammunition. But I think the most vulnerable part of this is that they're only carrying 2 vehicles which actually have sensors on board. And that is the cheese board and the gravestone, and these are the principal sensors on these guys. And if we take out these guys, specifically if we take out the fire control one, then I think we might be in game. And so if we take out the gravestone thingy over here, I think these guys will not be able to fire anymore, and I think that is something that we're going to try to use over here. So let's resume the game and do that. Other than that, what we might want to do is set up our combat air patrol a little bit here more towards the north. I think that's going to be alright. I don't want to be in their air cover though, so yeah, I think over here is fine. Yeah, let's try to get over there. Come on. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, our combat air patrol is going to be shifted a little bit to the north. I think we don't need to be covering quite as much air over here. I think we can drive that a little bit over here as well. And you know what, we're going to take the airborne early warning system, and we're also going to shift that a little bit towards over here. Just so that we can make sure that we have a little bit better cover than before. Right, there we go. So that's fine. We've got our helicopters flying around over here on an anti-submarine warfare patrol. These guys here are also advancing slowly. Do we want to maybe move them up a little bit faster? No, I don't think so. It should be alright. Good. Then we have got a couple of boogers over here. Do you want to maybe take them out? How much fuel have you guys got? Maybe it's worthwhile just to dash over here. But honestly, you still have so much fuel that I think that's alright. Do we know what you guys are specifically? No, I think they're going to be not that important of a target. Right, let's accelerate time over here a little bit and get our F-35s ready. There is the first one, Bulldog. Let's get you over here. Let's get you over here as well. And indeed, I think what we might want to do is just come up a little bit further to the south here. Then we're going to come in a little bit from the north, and that should be alright. And that's Bullock 12, and Bullock 11 is going to have a very similar pattern, so that you guys are coming in sort of roughly at the same time, and I think that's going to be fine. Right, I also think you might just want to go to maximum altitude over here. Yeah, that's on Bullock 11, Bullock number 12. You might just also want to go very high up. Right, then we've got more aircraft over here. That's a lot of aircraft, by the way. Most of these are flankers. Not entirely sure why you're coming up over here. We haven't seen that many flankers about before. There are also a couple of Tomahawks over here that are coming in for these raid installations. I think that's going to be alright. I think they might just be successful over here. But yeah, we'll need to evade these flankers here a little bit. I don't want to bump into them as we come up. I know these this text here is... I don't think you can disable that when the system was last spotted. For the ground installations it's a little bit meaningless, but I do like it for the more mobile stuff here, specifically the ships and so on. So let's see what that is gonna... What are you guys doing, I wonder? These flankers, I mean, they are multi-role. No, they're just fighters. But they are definitely capable of carrying some stuff, aren't they? And yeah, at least they can bomb. Of course, they are normal multi-role aircraft type of thing. Don't know why we're seeing them over here. We haven't seen them in a while there. Let's hope that we can at least take out these raid installations. That would be great. We have fairly consistently seen a patrol down here. But this is a lot of aircraft up here. Don't know why they're here. Interesting. Right, I think we can even accelerate a little bit further over here, although we need to be mindful to hit the pause button at a moment's notice. Yeah, well, we are more or less flying right into their flight path over here. I'm wondering whether they will turn around at some point. Yeah, every now and then we are losing contact with them. But so far that just doesn't seem to be too bad. And of course they could strike us, but I'm not too worried. Let's see whether we can sort of pass behind them, although these guys are going to come around at some point fairly soon, I think. And so far I don't think that we are going to be directly engaged by them. I certainly don't think that they're going to be attacked by the F-35. Notice that we've dropped these targets over here. Oh, they are turning around over there. Stop it. Okay, for some reasons our guys here are shooting at these guys, and I do not think that this is a sensible way to go, because these guys here clearly, I don't think they have the range even to engage that. That's 100 miles. And you're intermediately turning on your radar systems. I really wonder why that is the case. I really have to check that out again. Right, okay, at any rate, we are now engaging them, so we might as well fly directly towards them, since these guys are also turning around to the south. That is something that I dislike a lot. So, the positive thing about this is that we are now freed a little bit of our payload. Yeah, but you can see these guys here will fizzle out just before they reach the enemy there. Yeah, they are now evading. Oh no, they might just be able to engage. Well, they are certainly able to reach them, even though they are not capable of attacking them. Well, that is unfortunate. We're also seeing a number of further aircrafts up here, which are almost certainly hostile. Okay, guys, why are you shooting at them? This is a lot of aircraft. So we've got at least 10 aircraft in the air right now. That's not great, honestly. And even though these guys here are technically stealth, I'm not sure just how much that is going to be useful. Right, let's see whether we can go a little bit towards this direction and come around over there. Jesus, what are you guys doing? You're shooting rims at them now? Do you even have... Your radars are not on. Why are you shooting at these guys? Okay, I do need to change your doctrine. I don't want you to engage at that distance. Just some F-30... just some flankers. These guys are not... Yeah, but I would need to do that manually for each of these rims, don't I? Okay, for now what we're going to do is against air contacts. We are going to put you on hold. And that's fine. Yeah, so these guys haven't been launching these missiles at all. It was only these guys down here. Okay, you are turning around now, I believe. Which is good, because that does mean we have a potential of coming around over here. So these guys are more or less simply extending their perimeter over here. That's okay. I do think we can come around this way. Right, so let's see. We've got... Oh, look at that. We've got a Tomcat over here. Interesting. We, of course, are picking Super Tomcats, so that... Oh, lots of Tomcats, actually. You know what? Are you the ones? No. I do always wonder what this down here is. I don't think there's anything that can reach down there. Some hits over here. Let's do look at the message log to see what's going on over there. So, yeah, we've got a couple of impacts over here that is looking very nice. Impact surface. I don't think that is what you're doing. Yeah. Well, I do think we've taken them out, probably over there. So that is nice. Some of these anti-air missiles did penetrate out, so these are not very useful anymore. These F-14s, for now, I don't think they are a very important... Ooh, MiG-29s. Ooh, we also got MiG-35s over here, so these are a little bit more dangerous. You know what, let's try to get around a little bit more aggressively over here. The MiG-35s are definitely extremely good, semi-stealthy aircraft on their account, so let's try to come around this way, and both of you actually, so just keep our distance a little bit more from these guys. We do have some systems that could viably engage them, but I just don't think that we should be trying to do that at this point. They're not forming a direct threat against us at this very moment, so I think that's alright. Question is, are our F-35s... Jesus, why are you not... You should stay together, really. Yeah, so we've got two questions here. Are the F-35s going to be able to evade all of these patrols over here? A, and B, if they are capable of doing that, will they be able to engage these anti-air installations down here? Interesting to see one F-14 coming this direction. We are well within their engagement range, but I think they just haven't seen us yet, which is perfectly alright. Let's try to get around. I think that is something that we can do. Let's accelerate further over here. That's a lot of aircraft up here. We might also just want to try to come in between over here. Although these where are the MiG-35s? I think we've lost them. Well, that's not great, but it's going to be alright for now. There's nothing further down here. Okay, so you're now going south. To me that means we can go ahead and move these waypoints here a little bit more inwards. That should be okay. Oh yeah, no, these are MiG-29s. Tomcat up here, more Tomcats up here. Interesting to see them using the Tomcats for the first time. Don't think we've seen them earlier. Still got our submarine down there. We could of course try to engage the flankers over here with one of our guys down here. You have about 2 hours worth of fuel. Okay, so the Tomcats are now up there. Interesting. It's very nice to see that they're using different patterns than before. We did always have one patrol down here, but only of 2 aircraft, and now it's just a bunch of them. And very different aircraft too. MiG-29s, flankers, and the Tomcats. Interesting. Really interesting to see. Right, I do think we have disabled all of these radar installations up there. Question is, on Kish Island, we might just... what we might want to do then is grab another one of this task force over here and just try to see whether we can engage anything over here. You've got Tomahawks, okay, that's fine. Don't think we want to engage anything of this thing here. Just the radar installation would be lovely, wouldn't it? Okay, let's resume over here and see what we've got. So the Tomahawk, where's your waypoint? Oh, it's over here. Well, that's silly. Let's try to do it like this for you, and the other Tomahawk would be this one, and you likewise are going to go over here. Right. Let's see whether we can take that out. It would be nice. Not a very crucial objective, so we're only going to use 2 missiles over here, but I think that's okay. Right, guys, I think you're doing fantastic over here, so let's get you over here and then sort of fly directly over. Good, 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 good. I like it. Flankers, MiG-29s. It's a pity that we've lost contact with the MiG-35s. But they are probably running silent. Can I actually check whether you are... You're inheriting that. No, you are using your radar, so we should be seeing anything that is over here. I mean, these guys have a very low radar signature, but I think we are going to be alright. Right, and you guys, you know what, you guys here, can you fly up there and maybe take them out? Since there are not that many further aircrafts up here, we might also just want to use them to, you know what, let's go cruise speed, to sort of create a diversion over here, so that these guys are more engaged with them and not anything else. Okay, now we're seeing all of these emissions again. A couple of flankers are coming up there. Wait. Okay, stop. Here's something that is concerning me. These guys here are using military speed. All of you using military speed? You are using military speed, and that means you're burning a lot of fuel. And the reason that using a lot of fuel might just be that these guys are over here. Maybe they have spotted them in some way. Okay, you know what? It's time to allocate targets. So, Bulldog 11 over here is going to target... Or do we just want to launch at the same time? I think we want to launch at the same time. Now, the thing that concerns me is two things. What will happen when these F-35s are going to come so very close to some of these anti-air installations? Yes, the F-35 is a very good aircraft, and yes, it is stealthy, but these are enormously capable anti-air installations, and they just might be able to target the F-35 itself. So that is my first concern. Will the F-35 itself survive this? The second concern I have is once they are releasing their bombs here, I think the game does count them as just free-fall bombs. And during the time that they are falling, they are still susceptible to interception by their air installations, anti-air installations. So they might just not be able to, even if they are not capable of shooting down the F-35 itself, they might be capable of shooting down the bomb as it falls towards its target. So I don't think that's necessarily that realistic, but it's certainly something that does happen in the in command from time to time. So yeah, let's see how that is going to work out. But we certainly have to see what is going to come out of that. What's your range, by the way? No. See, I don't know what is causing this range down here. That's 270 miles from at least the closest airbase. So I really don't think what radar would have that range. You guys are still burning fast. So let's see. We are about how far away from the target? 50 miles or so. And these guys here are about 75 miles. Let's see. MiG-29's down here. These guys are basically just short-range stuff, so I don't think that's too concerning. But yeah, these guys up here, the SA-21s are extremely dangerous towards us. Lots of ships up here. Nothing too concerning, I think. We could of course also try to take out some of their radar installations back here. Wouldn't be a horrible idea, but I first want to try to use a proof of concept over here. So one of the things that we might want to do is just go a little bit lower with these guys. Now the paveway does have a minimum launch altitude, which is substantial, 1,000 feet, 10,000 feet actually. So even at 10,000 feet, they would drop for quite a while. And again, I'm not sure what happens once the F-35s launch their or open their base, basically. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use Bulldog 11 over here, and we are going to bring you up here and then there, and at this point here I'm going to ask you to drop down to 10,000. Let's call that 12,000 feet. No, 12,000 feet. There we go. Does that look like to you like it's trying to intercept the Bulldog? To me it does look a little bit like that. I mean, these guys are burning fuel hard. Wait a minute here. Let's check one thing. You're not... Oh. Now, here's the thing. You guys have been telling me... No, wait a minute. That's weird. Okay, Bulldog 12. How about you? You guys been telling me that the radar by the F-35 is so capable that it's basically not capable of being found anywhere. I'm not too sure about that. It's very good. I give you that, but... Okay, we are gonna run... See that? We are being fired upon on the F-35 at a range of about 25 miles. These guys are not invisible. And they are still extremely high. They are behind clouds. We're not being spotted optically over here. Although it's only light clouds. It's still daylight. We should have come maybe in night time, but... No, I do think that they are spotting us. I do think they're spotting us via radar. Okay, so what's the range of on the paveway? Paveway range is 4 miles. The F-35 is great, but it's definitively being targeted over here. So, you know what? We will have to run away. Okay, let's pick number 11 over here, and let's use the offensive thing over here. Do use this? Yes, thank you. And you likewise are going to use this. So we are jamming over here. A lot of missiles are coming after us now. But yeah, it just doesn't seem like we can come close in enough for these guys to be able to... Okay, you know what? You might want to go this way instead. The thing is, we are slightly more visible from this side, so that is simulated in the game. You can basically see our radar coverage here on the side is extremely low, on the rear it's extremely low, but on the side it's slightly higher. Still, I think going sideways is slightly better to run away from these missiles. Although they are seemingly following us, so maybe not. Guys, go as fast as you can. Wait a minute, I think you are engaged defensive, yes. So you are evading automatically. You have your jamming ability on. Damn it. They don't even have a bad hit probability. Base hit probability is 90%. And it's getting adjusted down to 2/3. So the very first missile did hit us here. Wow, man, that's extremely bad. Well, we did manage to dodge one, but that is a patently bad result. So the F-35, I recognize fully what you guys telling me. It's a good aircraft, but it's not invulnerable, and it just doesn't have the ability to come into their rear, get into a range of 4 miles with these guys, and just drop that. There's one other thing we could do. We could come in this way, although it's extremely difficult due to all of these aircraft that are patrolling over here. Come in very, very low, just rise up over here, but we would need to get to 10,000 feet at the minimum. So even if we have a couple of, even if we are able to follow these valleys here extremely closely at an elevation of about 3,000 feet or so, that would leave about 1,000 feet of mountains between us. So the elevation here is about, yeah, let's call that 4,500. And down here it's about 1,000 feet less. That looks more. That looks actually more than a 300 meter difference to me. But nevertheless, can we actually use different map settings over here? View it is, right. Let's call that the relief layer. Does always need a second to load, I think. Whoa, it's ugly, man. Yeah, I mean, it looks decent on the way out, but... Right, so yeah, so over here elevation like 4,800, 3,400, so yeah, about 1,000 feet difference. Let's call that 400 meters. So we could come in behind here and then just turn around and fire at these guys once we are coming around over here. But still, this is one of our targets, and this is 7 miles. We need to get in at least towards over here, and that's just way too exposed. Yeah. So, F-35, brilliant aircraft. It did manage to come around here quite a bit, but not capable of standing itself, just sneaking in and taking them out like that. So the question really becomes, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this Russian airbase? And that is going to be an extremely hard question. Oh, come on, just get rid of this. Okay, that is going to be an extremely hard question. Let me ponder that for a while, and I hope you enjoyed the episode, even though it's not, again, a very big success. Not by a stretch, but at the very least we learned something today. So yeah, let me know what you think about that, and I hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.